Okay, thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. My name is Remy. I will be presenting on evaluation of potential of using camel meat to process various meat products, in particular sausages, meatballs, and burgers. And in part of the introduction is camels are mainly reared in arid and semi-arid regions, which constitute around 80% of Kenya's landmass. And the camel that we keep normally in Kenya is the dromedary camel, and it's mainly for meat, milk, recreation, and other purposes. In terms of all camel production, so that we see where Kenya falls, we have around that 7 million of camels, so Kenya is around 4 or 5 million, which is comparable quite well. What are the nutritional benefits of camel meat? In terms of protein, the concentrations are slightly higher in camel meat than any other meats due to lower fat in camel meat. And the amino acid balance is comparable with the other meats. Protein is highly digestible as compared to the other meats. And also bioavailability in terms of amino acids and protein, that data is not there. So that's a gap that can be studied. Fat concentrations are generally low in camel meats compared to the other animals. Fats will depend on the diets that the camels take, and the minerals are comparable to bovine meat. What are the camel meat products that are in the market? The common one is nyiri, which is fried and dried camel meat. Normally, they cut it like this into strips and dry it. I think there are very few women groups in this country that do that. In terms of processing, there's only one process in this country, Northern Meat Product in Isiolo processes some meat product. Why are we processing camel meat product? We have said Kenya is a home of about 5 million camels. That's around 13% in the world. But there are no commercially processed meat products of camels except from Northern Meat. It's only currently processed into nyiri. And the fact that camels can withstand adverse climatic conditions due to climate change and other aspects. Pastoralists are facing away cows and dairy animals and other small ruminants in place of camels. So it's they are accruing very minimum benefits from camels. So by processing the meat, we expect the hunters to accrue better benefits. So the main objective was to evaluate the potential of processing those meat products. We process those meat products, we analyze the nutrition and chemical composition, and also we carry out the sensory evaluation to see if they are acceptable by consumers. The methodology, the research sites was one in Isiolo in Garemara and one in Kalale in Marsabit, so we had 10 camels in each site. 5 camels were supplemented with feeds, 5 were not supplemented. We fed them for 3 months, monitoring the weights weekly. I will not present that data, I want only the meat product. Then we slaughtered the camels and processed various meat products. First, the one that we yearned for supplemented feeding, so we formulated the feeds, which in this country we looked for the feeds everywhere, we couldn't find any feeds. So we started by formulating our own feeds. We put up a structure for the feeding of camels. This Dr. Biakun with some of the feeds. This is the team we were working with. Camel meat sausages, or not sausage, but sausages were processed and other product at Meru University in the food science department. Most of the sensory evaluation was conducted at our Karo women group to ascertain with the real consumers of camel meat. In terms of analysis, we did protein analysis, fat, ash, amino acid, minerals, and sensory evaluation. In terms of approximate composition, for the burger, for the meatball, soup means supplemented and soup means unsupplemented. What we realized for the supplemented, most of the compositions were higher compared, in some instances, compared to the unsupplemented. And one of particular key is the fat. which has been documented with others that when you supplement with the feeds, the fat increases in the meat product. In terms of minerals, this supplementary, I didn't include standard deviation because they were quite small. We observed readings of higher values more on supplemented meat than unsupplemented. The same way for the burger and the same way also for the sausages. We observed slightly higher values compared to the unsupplemented. In terms of sensory, we have summed up all the results together so that we have at least a key way of evaluating. We are not presenting for each product. In terms of taste, we could see 60% of the farmers preferring the supplemented. Color is more or less close. Texture, this is how it is tender, how it's soft. The supplemented was considered more soft. Then the aroma, the supplemented was higher. In terms of overall acceptance, mostly the panelists preferred the supplemented, and this is because of basically the fat factor. It's because the higher the fat, the more the product is tasty, the more it's considered to be softer, and the more preferred by the consumers. So in conclusion, it was possible to process burgers and more meatballs and sausages, and the nutritional composition of camel meat product was comparable with other meats. Camel meat sensory properties were comparable, but the ones that were supplemented were more preferred than unsupplemented ones. So we acknowledge various funding organizations, Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture, National Research Fund, and the other institutions that we work with, and also Anolai and our Kala Women Group. Thank you.